Hello everyone, I'm Denise Love, and here's a little preview of what we're going to be doing today. So let's get started. Thought it was time for another color challenge, and I am pulling from Color Cube deck number 1 by Sarah Renee Clark, so you can get these on her website, and I do link all these below the video for you, so definitely check the description for the different links. And I wanted to just go way outside my comfort zone and pick something that was just crazy, and I thought card 77 fit that bill today. So light pink, white smoke, clay, mimosa, amber. So I've kind of pulled out some colors that I want to work in today. And now that I flipped that over and saw that it said white smoke, that's kind of a gray. And I didn't really pull out a gray. So I might just look in here and grab a gray. I pulled out white, which was kind of close, but I didn't actually pull out like a gray. So let's do that. So I have pulled out, I've got a neutral gray with white, which we can make it into a lighter gray if we want. I've pulled out a pink. This one happens to be the Blick Brilliant Magenta, because I don't have a light pink. I mean, I probably do, but is it that color? Like, I've got these fusion paints, and that's a lighter pink, but that's kind of like a grayish pink. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I do have a pink that I kind of like here. Blue Red Light by the Blick Metallic. So let's just take that back. And then for this one down here, I've pulled out Raw Sienna. And then we've got some Naples Yellow Hue for that yellow. And then this crazy one. Look how crazy that color is. Cadmium Yellow Deep Hue. So I think that is kind of pulling together pretty good our color palette. I pulled out a couple Neocolor 2 crayons. And then as we're going, I'll just reserve the right to pull out anything else that inspires us. So I'm going to put a few of these paints on my palette paper over here. Ooh. I just totally put that everywhere. There we go. So let's just pull some colors out, and we are going to do some crazy color today because I'm feeling it. I might have to put more of this out, but that's okay. Oh, you know what else I like to do? I'm putting this white and this gray out, but I really like when I'm painting with acrylic paints to put out clear or white gesso. And I like to mix the gesso with the acrylic paint because it makes it more spreadable and more blendable, and then I can put stuff on top like other pastels and stuff. This gray is the same color as my disposable palette paper. How funny is that? Alright, I'm going to scoot this, put this where we can see it, put that back there, and I've got some gesso back here, so I would like to have some gesso out here. This is clear gesso, and I've got, sorry, that's white gesso, and I've got clear gesso, and this is the Liquitex gessos that I've got. And I just like having those out there and mixing my paint in it. And I'm just going to grab a paintbrush for painting with acrylic paint. So these are some of my Filbert brushes by Princeton and Bria. I think I'm going to paint with this first and just get us started. I already got a little bit of paint on here, so we can just spread that around. Just get us started. And if you're looking at it thinking, oh, I don't want to mess these up, then start with some drawing. And then, you know what, they're all messed up. And I kind of like working on these like they're one big piece of paper. So kind of think of that like this is one big piece of art that we're creating, and just go for it and like forget that the tape is there, even though I'm creating several small pieces here. I like to treat it like it's one big piece of paper. And this is that Aquapress Stonehenge paper that I have. It's a 12 by 16 piece of paper. And it is a cotton paper, but it's just what I happen to have over here by me when I picked what I was going to use today. I'm kind of feeling the pink. It's not quite Barbie pink. I'm kind of feeling pink today. Why not? And then while we're making marks and stuff and putting this paint on, we could have something available to do some mark making as we're going. So that could either be like something that you like that's rubber, like some of our little rubber bits to kind of drag through the paint. We could do that. Could also be something, ooh, yeah, like that. To drag through that doesn't have any color to it, just sharp something. Could also be like a mechanical pencil where I draw through. So I'm going to have some mark making stuff over here available too. And then again, kind of treating it like it's one big happy piece of paper. As if we could, you know, display these as a collection. And I'm kind of intuitively painting. I mentioned in one of my recent videos, you know, so many people say, oh, I don't know how to loosen up. I get too tight when I'm painting. How do you do that? Okay, so that actually is the darker pink than on that card. So I'm going to mix in a whole bunch of white gesso with this pink and make it the lighter pink on the card. Again, I'm not trying to get these colors exact. My goal is just to work within a color palette, light pink, white or gray, you know, brown, yellow, orange. Work within this color palette. Does not have to be exact. That just is not my goal. My goal is to work within this color palette of colors I would never pull. And I love doing these because I just have discovered so many amazing things that I never would have discovered if I hadn't been doing this. There's so many colors I avoid. There's so many color palettes that I'm like, eh. And now I'm like, oh wow, look how good these work together, and I never would have imagined that. Somebody said that they are pulling cards out of the color palette deck and it's not any of their favorite colors and they're putting the cards back, and that's not really what the goal of these are for me. I'm not trying to pull stuff with my favorite colors, where it would be nice to have color palettes using only your favorite colors. What if some of these others are your favorite colors and you didn't even know it because you never even tried them? That's my goal. I'm trying to discover new things, go in new directions, just see, you know, what is it we can get if we do this or that. Okay, so let's mix some white gesso in with this gray and get that really light gray color. So, and another thing people mention, they have a real hard time loosening up. And you know, it's so easy. They're like, how can you talk and paint? But that for me is such a good way to loosen up. Call a friend, call a buddy. Let's do that game show. What's the answer? Call a friend. But call a friend and say, hey, you know what? Talk to me while I'm painting, so that I have to concentrate half my brain on what we're talking about. And I can only concentrate a little bit of my brain on what I'm painting. And then I'm not going to be so worried about each step and each mark and each direction that I'm trying to go, because I'm more focused on the fun conversation that we're having while we're painting. And that's kind of how I treat, you know, filming videos and talking at the same time. I'm painting intuitively. You don't see me stop a whole lot and think about where I'm putting stuff, and I'm not agonizing over the white paper and what I was creating, and I'm not stuck when I'm painting. And I don't start painting with any particular goal in mind. I start painting with, say, a color palette, and I'm like, okay, let's just go wherever this set of colors wants to lead me. Okay, so start with the colors you like the most, and then start working down the line to the other colors in here. And I actually do like pink and ochre, so I didn't leave the ochre for last on purpose. But let me tell you, I'm leaving that orange for last on purpose. That's a crazy color. And maybe it's the pop that we need, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll completely hate it. So if you save it for last, ooh, yeah, ooh, let's go mark through. Oh, look at that. Now we've got like some little ice cream colors. Okay, keep your little, whatever, this is like a clay tool with like an ice pick end and like a little hook end. It's like a little weapon. Beware in my art room, I have little weapons. But yeah, keep little tools around, and don't forget, hold it in one hand, like this is your knife and this is your fork, and go ahead and then start. Oh my gosh, look at that. I like when we start seeing the layers through the lines like that. I love that. And when I'm doing abstract, you know, it's all about the layers. Don't get stuck on the first layers. Don't be like, oh, it's not there, I'm not getting what I want. If it's not good enough, maybe there's not enough layers. And I know I've said that several times, but for some people, this will be the very first video that they watch. And I want them to understand abstract art, the interest in abstract is all about the layers that you have going. And I don't want you to be stuck on these initial layers and think, oh no, I don't love it, or it's not right, or some color is more dominant than I wanted, because we're painting with acrylic paint, and as these dry, you can paint on top of these layers, and if we mix it in with some gesso, I can color on top of these layers with other stuff, pencils, pastels, you name it. Because right now, I'm with you, hot mess. And you know what? I doubt every time, like you're looking at this doubting that I'm going to get somewhere. Dude, I doubt every single time too. Like, is this the video you're not going to see? Maybe. Let's just do some lines in here. Oh my gosh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, make some noises, like get some music going. Sing to the music and just see, you know, what comes out. Don't worry about where it's going. Start creating with the intent of, I can cut this up. That's always a good one for me. I can cut it up. I can cut it up. Totally makes me feel better when I start thinking that. Okay, I know we're looking crazy. And I got to tell you, I got two colors that I haven't used. So, should we try to work them in here, or should we do some stencils on top? I'm kind of feeling like let's do some stencils on top. And you know, I never used to use stencils at all. I mean, I had some stencils. Okay, I'm going down here into my little stencil box. People ask, how do I store my stencils? I store stencils in a Rubbermaid clear tote sitting beside my table so I can lean right down and grab them. Ooh, you know what? I used this one recently. Totally love the curtains. We're going to use the curtains again. Stencil Girl Products S575. Ooh, I used this one recently too. I actually found this one. It's a Stencil Girl stencil also. What else? We got all kinds of stuff down here. We got all kinds of stuff I love. Ooh, we got the numbers. We got dots. We got lines. Okay, I feel like I'm definitely feeling these with those colors. Maybe not the curtains with those colors. We may come back with like pink curtain on top. I don't know. Definitely feeling some of this. So, all right, let's hop in with this brown. I'm not excited about the brown. So we're going to just, oh, look what that did. See, always surprises me every time. Every time. Holy cow. Holy moly. Okay, so that's kind of different. All right, so, all right. I know you're with me. And I don't know that the brown is a color that I would use all the time here, because it's kind of like a poopy brown, baby poopy brown. But I am kind of digging it, as it's a layer on top of our yummy pieces here. And when I use stencils, I just am, using part of it. I don't want to be all matchy-matchy. Somebody said in one of my groups, did I have a video on how to use stencils correctly? Heck no. I use them. I abuse them. I leave paint on them. I throw them to the side. I kind of abuse stencils, really. And I feel like abusing your art supplies is really appreciating them to their fullest. And you may not feel like you can do that. And if you can't do that, wash them off. Not a big deal. I feel like it's the way that I honor my stencils. By just beating them up. Okay, let's put some white out. I know I got white out, but I actually want like a thicker white. This one is a Liquitex titanium white professional. I want a thick white. I want a white that won't let all the colors bleed through like some of the other whites that I use. Let's throw some curtains in here. I'm all about the curtains. I know I used them on a recent project. I don't care. I love them. Go with whatever you're feeling. Oh, see? Dang it, I love these. These are going to look just like that other one, but I don't even care. I should let this paint dry under here, but that's okay. You can do a little dab or a little swoosh. I like to swoosh with the stencils. The paint ends up less dabby. Oh yeah, see, I'm feeling this. I love this stencil. Okay, we're gonna come from the side. Oh yeah. All right, I'm just putting it somewhere different each time. All right, here's that other white since I have it out. These are still wet, so I am getting some bleed through, but that's okay. If you want no bleed through, wait for all your paints to dry. I'm just in the mood to play. Oh, see, I love that. All right, let's come over here. Arrgh. Oh yeah, it's your birthday. Woo doo doo. All right, let's do one from this side. I've already done, okay, I've done all four sides. All right, what am I feeling? Let's just do it right here. All right, I like it. That was totally Pee Wee Herman, wasn't it? I saw that he passed away recently. That was very sad. All right, now I'm feeling like, what do we want to do now? We got to have something. I feel I need for some more layer here. Oh, I still got these Caran d'Ache crayons, the Neocolor II Pastels. I almost feel like this needs to dry a tiny bit, so I'm going to let it dry and I'll be right back. All right, this is dry, and I'm kind of thinking, look, I forgot a color. That one. What if we come back with some little flower in the most obnoxious yellow in our palette and just see, what do we think? And if you don't like it, I do kind of like it though, look at that. If you don't like it, try it once on one piece. And then if you're like, okay, I'm hating it, don't feel like you got to use it on every piece, but I do want you to try your least favorite color at least once on one piece before you say, okay, I actually hate it. But I don't hate it. It is kind of crazy. It's a crazy color that maybe you'll have to get close to actually see what it is. Like from far back, you're going to be looking at that thinking, what is that? And then you get close and you're like, oh, it's like a little ray of sunshine right in the middle of our pieces, which I'm kind of digging it. I'm digging a little ray of sunshine. All right, here we go. All right, I like the flower stencil. And I'll have a search and try to link it below if I can find what that was, because I don't see it listed on here, so I'll link it if I find it. And if I don't find it, then look around for flowers. Okay, so now we've got some Neocolor II Pastels. Ooh, you know what else we got? Do we need anything else? You know, do we? But we can come back with some colored Posca pens if you're feeling it needs a little something. Do we need a little something? Do we need some dots somewhere? I don't feel like I need some dots. I'm just throwing some ideas out there for you. I almost feel like we should take a look and see what we got. If you get to a point where you're like, I don't know, stop and see where you're at and evaluate. So I'm going to kind of peel the tape and just evaluate where we are at. I'm using the heat gun to pull the tape off because I know this paper grabs the tape. If the paint is still wet, you will pull off part of a painting. So I was not careful enough there, and I did pull off part of this painting. But when I'm cutting stuff, I could either choose to cut that off, or I could choose right now, before I get any further, I could fill this in with some paint or some color or something to kind of finish that off so that it's not torn. So keep in mind as you're doing stuff, if you run into something where you're like, uh-oh, I have, a piece here that I didn't intend, don't be afraid to like fix a spot that you messed up as you're peeling tape. Don't consider it like ruined or anything like that. I want you to look at it and think, okay, what can I do there that's going to let me fix that? And I kind of feel like a little bit of a flower there would fix that. Maybe a tiny piece of tape before, so I get a clean line. And I'm going to take a little bit of flower stencil and come right here and fix that. And then you'll never know that we had a spot that we tore accidentally. Check it out. I like having stuff like that happen on camera, even though you like to think professional artists and everybody else never has trouble with tape like you do. We all have trouble with the tape. And this has been taped down for a couple days, so let me go ahead and heat that tape up to get it the rest of the way. All right, what? Look at these. Okay, I love this one. Okay, everybody's like, oh, you have such joy in your art. But you know what? If you start all the pieces out with no expectation in your mind, look at these, no expectation of where you're going or what your end outcome is expected to be, it's very easy to find joy in the pieces that you end up with. Cause look how cool these are. This was a super fun color palette. I truly doubted. I pulled something that was way outside my comfort zone, and I said, okay, we're gonna work with this no matter what and see what we get. And then look what we got. These are super bright and fun and colorful and pretty. Oh, love these two right here. These two, it's like a little pair. You can see those framed together. This was a fun painting day, and I didn't even use these little pastels, and I could actually, this one right here, I feel like, okay, this one could use more, so I might still work on this later when I'm like, what does that need, and I can decide. These two are definitely finished. I love them just like that. And we could even look at them in the other direction. Don't like it like that one. I like them like that. This one, I actually love it just like that with these little swoopies coming down. For some reason, I'm just obsessed. I like that. This one, again, is kind of like this one. Is it finished? I don't know. Do we like it better like that? Oh, I kind of do like it better like this, but I still feel like maybe it's not finished. So these two might kind of live on my stack for a while until I'm like, ooh, I know what those need. They could also be cut up into some other pieces of art. I could use them as card fronts. I could put some words in here like happy birthday, and that could be the finish of something like this. So these two I think probably need more stuff, so I can live with those for a while. These are not all the same size, obviously, because I wasn't super careful in my taping off, but these, all right. Got a good paint day today. Hope you enjoy this color palette. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what you guys create with these colors, and I will see you next time. And if you want to show me what you're working on, feel free to tag me on Instagram at Two Little Owls Art. And you can join the Facebook group that I have for the art peeps if you want to come and show off what you're working on with everybody. And those links and the supplies that I'm using will be all linked below the video. And I'll see you next time.